Well, let me just say a word of introduction. Thank you for all coming. It was a bit short notice, but we're very happy to have Shiva and Luong visiting with us here. Shiva is a good friend of our laboratory and our activity over the years. She's done a lot of work in speech and translation research, but she is in Vietnam the department head of the Laboratory of Pattern Recognition, or the Department of Pattern Recognition, at one of the premier institutes in Hanoi. It's the Institute of Information Technology from the Vietnam Academy of Sciences. It's one of the largest and best, I think maybe the best institute in Vietnam, where they do a lot of interesting research on information technologies. We've collaborated over many years. You know, she has been involved in many of the projects that we're also involved in around the world. And she's been very active, obviously, on her native language in Vietnamese. And so we also have student exchanges, etc. So there's a large amount of activity going on. And so we have enjoyed a friendship over many, many years. I've visited, of course, her laboratory also. She is the deputy director of the overall institute as well. And so, but again, her heart is in science. So, so we're very glad to have her here and to give us a little bit of a review of what they're doing there in Vietnam and in her research laboratory. So again, thank you very much for coming. Yeah. We're very happy to have you here, and we welcome you for your talk. Yeah. Thank you.
So thank you very much for very nice introductions from Professor Alex Warburn. So as Professor Warburn already introduced, my name is you can call me Chimai or Mai. Yeah. So today my talk. So first of all, I would like to say that in Vietnam, everyone who works in the field of technologies knows the name of Silicon Valley. So that's why I am very happy to be here. And yesterday I have very wonderful days visiting somewhere with Professor Warburn. So I would like to express my thanks to Professor Warburn to give me opportunities to be here in order to make, and we hope that we will have more collaborations with your interact and even for research and also exchange students. So let me introduce about some our current status of development of Vietnamese English speech-to-speech translation. It's towards the next national program, ICT program in our country from this year to the next 5 years. Because each 5 years we have one period. So after that we have some evaluation, and if the evaluation is good for some national project, we can continue. So last times I also had some talk in Pittsburgh and also had some introduce about our result in the midterm term. So now we have to try to express, try to give more information afterward. So let me introduce a little bit about us. So IOIT, it's Institute of Information Technology is a leading institute on research in computer science in Vietnam. So there is some statistics, and but for this, I would like to underline about our lab, because our lab, my mission today is more related to our lab rather than IOIT. So my mission is our mission is carrying out the research in the field of pattern recognition, including speech and Vietnamese OCR. So far we are very successful with the OCR system, and it's the best now in Vietnam, and already commercialized since the last 10 years. And we now from last 5 years we focus on speech recognitions, Vietnamese speech recognition, of course. So so we also carrying out research in the field of knowledge discovery and data mining. But this group is mostly staying in Japan now, because we have very close collaboration with Japan Advanced Institute for Science and Technology. So on our college is full professor there, so they give us many opportunities to invite our college there, and most of our PhD staff and come from Japan, graduated from Japan for this field. So one of our focus is to develop pattern recognition technique for Vietnamese automatic data entry. Here I mean that OCR also kind of automatic data entry and speech recognition also kind of it. So in the short term, we try to our goal is to produce some software products for the end user like OCR. So for the content of our talk, my talk today, I would like to talk a little bit about Vietnamese language structure, and so and then I will talk about the Vietnamese language and speech processing over last 5 years, because it's a base that we can develop speech-to-speech translation from now. And also, I will talk about our activities in speech-to-speech translation in this community, and some application we already had in Vietnam, and some conclusions. So for Vietnamese language, so it's we have 86 population and 3 million, about 3 million in abroad. And here I think that is most Vietnamese stay in California. California, about as far as I know, it's about 1 million in the U.S. It is a part of the Austro-Asiatic language families. Yeah, it's about more than 160 languages, and many our vocabulary has been borrowed from Chinese, and especially I have to underline that we have many dialects, and mostly with 3 dialects from the north, from the central, and from the south. Yeah, from the south. So I come from the north, and the northern dialect is considered like standards in the broadcasting and something. So for collect speed collect data, so far we mostly focus on the north of Vietnam. So for this stage, we have to be extend our data collection in the another dialect. We focus on southern and maybe central of Vietnam is the last one. So Chinese Vietnamese language, it's the we use Chinese character for a long time, but for writing system from in the 10th century, we use like this one, but we have now Roman script to represent the Quốc ngữ. It's the national writing system now since the beginning of the 20th century. Here it's some very well-known in Quốc ngữ now. So it's from chữ nôm, it's like here, and here it's translation to English. And also we have many ethnic groups in Vietnam. Yeah, more 54 ethnic groups in Vietnam. So when we talk about the Vietnamese language, it means that it's the language of Quốc ngữ, as it's and people, king nation, king groups. It's about more 85% in Vietnam. So we don't talk about ethnic group languages. For our problems, we have the big problem for word segmentation, because there is no word separators in Vietnamese, and that does use morphological marking of case, gender, number, or tense. So, for example, it's here it's like not female or male. So syntax comes from subject, verb, object, word order. And if we am to focus like a husband, so we have it's translated in Vietnamese like this. So like this. So written language use the Vietnamese alphabet like a national script based on Latin alphabet. So now we have very lively discussion between ICT communities as do we need to put more characters, more alphabetic characters like F, W, Z in our alphabet or not. So we have now it's between ICT community, but for linguists. So I think that they have many arguments against it. And that's why for with the problem of the word segmentation, there is very well-known sentence that if we have this sentence in Vietnamese, we have many possible translations like this. It's the first, the old man walks too fast, or my father walks too fast, it depends. And here, it's 6 possibilities to understand the term. It's only one sentence, so it's very significant problem for the word segmentations. Yeah. So speaking about phonetic structures, so we have almost 19,000 occurring syllables, but only about 7,000 syllables used in practice. And here we have this structure, and Vietnamese is monosyllable and tonal language, and tone is covered on, of course, it's underlying on final rhythm, but some research also shows that it maybe have influence on the initial also. So there is some statistic for phonetic structures. So we use this for in our papers. And speaking about lexical tone systems, we have 6 tones. We have 6 tones, and 11 falling, broken, curve, rising, and drop tone is the additional feature. It's diacritics features. So for tone, so I would like to underline that. If we speak about only 6 tones, but from phonetic aspect, actually we have H tone for recognition, because rising tone here, and drop tone, rising tone 7, drop tone H, is similar to 5 and 6 with the stop consonant in the end position. So if with PTK, it's rising and drop tone, so it's pitch contour. It's rising fast and also drop very fast. So we have to consider that case for ASR and for TTS also. And especially for the broken tone and drop tone, we already tried with Fujisaki model for modeling Vietnamese tone. So it's very difficult for broken and drop tone. So for that tones, we have to have more information and additional features in order to model that tone. So it's briefly about the Vietnamese language. So why I talk about the VLSP project last year? Because so here it's the logo of our communities, and most of work about why we had the proposal for an ICT program in last 5 years, because in Vietnam, most of our work, the MS machine translation, everybody for NLP talk about machine translation, but other tasks are top level, but very few basic work at the lower layer. So everybody done in isolation work, no inheritance. So people have to do their work from scratch without sharing and collaboration. So almost resources and tools for language and speech research, no resources. So that's why, for example, for Chinese or Chinese, there are many available tools like this, but no tools to do such simple tasks. Also, so that's why the goal of our project last 5 years is to gather on active group in research institutions and university in order to build infrastructure, especially necessary resources and tools for the community development here. And also, we build and develop several typical VLSP products for end user because we aware that it's the tool and corpora, and we of course we have to follow the state of the art of the speech and NLP also, but based on tool and resources and techniques, we can build and develop some products for the end user. But for this year, for this period, we try to have some prototype of the in NLP and also speech. So our goal is to share the tools and corpora and resources to for the community, at least for the R&D community in our countries. So that's what we design for our project target products. It's some kind of Vietnamese Treebank, English Vietnamese corpora of alignment synthesis, and yeah, so there is some resources, and here it's the tools, and here it's the some prototype of products. It's for the NLP part, and for speech part we have that way and that way. So for speech part, I am responsible for that, and for NLP, the professor who stay in Japan is the leader of the of that. So we work together like a co-head of the project last 5 years. So, but the what we have done for last 5 years, maybe it's not too large for commercialize, but we have it should be standards for long-term development, and guideline for the tools for example for word segmentation, chunking or something, and even for speech, even for resources, we also design how to develop it. And now here you have after 5 years we have basic resources for speech, for speech synthesis, speech recognition, and some corpora for name entities and disease for disease. In the smartphone system also for disease recognition, we already have something. For basic resources for languages, we have Vietnamese dictionary, we have Viet Treebank, we have some parallel Corpus, English, Vietnamese. Here it's 4 basic tools for languages. That's now there are many downloaded in that. For word segmentation, here it's a demo. It's a address. Here it's here is the website that you can download and send agreement.
It's a little bit about the domain of each corpus, like
domain corpus, yeah.
Yeah, like
yeah. So now we focus on travel domain. So here you can but this website we only find the NLP resources and tools, but for speech, so please contact directly to me, and we will give you the agreement agreement for their agreement for using. So a little bit about some features of each resources and tool. So here you have Viet Treebank with some 10,000 tree and 1 million morpheme. Here you have very large pen Treebank for English and pen Chinese Treebank, but from its, I mean that as a guideline, we would have a guideline for how to build Viet Treebank, and afterwards we will add more, and after finishing the project, we now continue to work Viet Treebank now. And we have also Vietnamese machine readable dictionary. It's about 35,000 Vietnamese common word used words in modern Vietnamese, and it's a tools for developing, for building that dictionary with XML representation. And for tools, as I said before, so we have word segmentations, and we use n-gram and dictionary and the accuracy. Yeah. Also, some here it's accuracy for each tool. So it's there are a lot of download for the tool, and we have and we ask in the open source. So we ask for the community to improve the tools. And and I think that's for Viet Treebank. There are a lot of download now. So conclusions for VLSP. So we in the last 5 years we complete the first phase in VLSP infrastructures. I mean, so we also follow the advances technology and experience from processing of other languages, especially for statistical learning from large corpora. And we know how to work in collaboration and sharing, because as I talked before that, we have 7 active groups in Vietnam, almost in 5 institutions including IOIT and other big university in Hanoi and in Ho Chi Minh City. So so we have good collaborations, and the network here. Why we have this, and we try to look for investments from the government and industry for the next phase and for collaboration. So that's why for the next phase we have approved for speech-to-speech translation and translation for next 2 years. So it's acknowledgement. There is the active member, and who is responsible for each part in NLP and also in speech. So speech. So I have we prepare for this project very long time in order to define what we have to do in depending our knowledge and our resource, human resources. So based on this, so we have just approved our project for speech-to-speech translation in 2000 and from this year for the next 2 years. So and I have to say that it's quite difficult to get national projects in our country, yeah, because it's a lot of competitions. Competition, but based on our good result from last year, so we are lucky also and happy that we can continue our work for the next 2 years. And the goal of the project is to develop Vietnamese and English speech-to-speech translation in traveling conversation domain, and of course we have to improve Vietnamese ASR and also statistical machine translation and also TTS. So far we have we have several we have already done TTS with the concatenations, and it's rather good. But for the for this project, we try to have hidden macro model base. It's based on only batch data. And here, system structure for new project for speech to translation. It's not in standalone, but a communication network. It's use communication network in order to so we also try to build and we learn a lot from our activities in Asian speech translations ASTAR before. So we also have to develop it's a speech translation markup language API and library and for the first versions. And for human resources, we have IOIT. It's the main core of the team, and we have we build STML, ASR, and HML based DTS. And from University of Hanoi University of Technologies research, we develop SMT, and plus rule recognition. How to combine it? It's our challenge. And from Ho Chi Minh City, they want to provide unit selection TTS, and so far they have very good voice TTS voice. Actually, it's not synthesized, but how to select the unit they try to do by different way. Maybe the word, maybe the syllable, maybe on phrase also. So here we already successful to integrate in the website of the Ministry of Information and Communication. It's the Viet Institute for Policy ICT and ICT in Vietnam. So they are happy that we happy. So maybe if don't have technical problem here, I can show for the demo how good the natural voice. And for corporate development in travel domain, all of the partners should be contribute for that. It's our our team. So I've been talk about some results from each part of the each part of the three main domain. It's the speech translation, speech synthesis, but I am working on the speech recognition. So I focus more on speech recognition result. So for the ASR so far, we already have VOV Voice of Vietnam for training. So I think that's I already give you VOV corpus with 33K thousand sentences and about 30 broadcasters. So hope that you already got it. And we also have basic Travel expression corpus for testing. Yeah, so it's recorded in some feature here. But on that we just have in the northern dialect, but not southern dialect. Yes.
So just wondering how many hours
Sorry.
How many hours?
Of speech here is about 5 hours. Okay. 5 hours. So, and here you may already know that for topics in effect corpus, it's somehow distributed like that. As we are the member of ASTAR, and now it's USTAR, so we can use this like for R&D purpose. So we have we do some segmentation, initial segmentations, and we try to define the phoneme set in Vietnamese because we have some tested how many units is more suitable for Vietnamese because there are different combinations, and here we have feature parameters for ASR, and for BTEC test set that I talked here for BTEC 2 is for testing. We get experimental results of ASR is still below 90%, maybe because of quality of training data. Because we at that time we didn't have the BTEC for training, so we training in the VOV corpus. So that's why it's lower than accuracy from the other languages. But and also from VOV, you have to remind us because you already reviewed that. So data from Fairman and most part is the data set. That's why maybe for the testing we have for BTEC maybe the balance of the voice. So from that period is in the middle of 2009. Now we develop more speech corpus. So we design the corpus phonetically based balanced sentences. So it's automatically chosen from 5 megabyte sentences of daily news by applying gridley algorithm. So now we have about 9,000 sentences with 40 speakers and totally we have this number of utterance. We also have Vietlex corpus. It's also phonetically covered, but manually chosen from linguists in Vietnam. So there is some statistic of that. So I think for Vietlex corpus, I already give you that. So maybe I will give you more for daily news corpus for your testing. It's Vietnamese corpus too. So it's that. So we hope that with the phonetically balanced sentence and with Vietlex corpus, Vietlex is Vietnamese Lexical Center from the Institute of Linguistics in Vietnam. So we apply new corpus. So in order to improve of Vietnamese improvement of accuracy of ASR, we apply new corpus, daily news, and Vietlex as I presented in the last slides for training and development. And we also and now we try to continue to extend on corpus by increasing the number of speakers and of various dialects, but we focus on Southern dialect now. In here, it's and here we think that's how we can improve of Vietnamese ASR is the study of phonetic units for Vietnamese speech recognition. Before we use only 45 units. So we is the next slide. I will give you some research experiment on how many units we use now. And also we are trying for automatic generation of non-uniform context-dependent HMM topologies because and now our student, PhD student, is doing some experiment on how to choose automatically how many states for the HML, and we try to compose hybrid system for current speech recognition engine without tone with the Vietnamese tone recognizer. So we are also do something in some more before we have added some tone recognition, but it's very primary result. So, for example, for the study of phonetic units of Vietnamese recognitions, we as I said before, that we have 45 phone units, but we should consider the combination if of one phone to diphthong, triphthong unit. So we have tested this, and we use some merchant index for different number of the unit sets. So here we have, if we have we use tone information, so number of units is so large, so it can be up to 126 units, and it costs. But here it's reduction, MI mutual index reduction with the number of phoneme merged. So we have tested it, and here is the best one now we have, and we evaluate ASR with phone set. So we found out that for 44 merged, and we can have that 82 units, some accuracy for that, and that is on VOV corpus. It means that 23 sentences. Yeah, it's language modern diagram. So we have we have this one, and based on the new corpus, daily news and Vietlex corpus, with considering it's a unit full set. So now we got after improvement of some techniques and more data for training. So ASR accuracy for Vietnamese is already comparable with other languages. When we work for the AS for the other languages, of course it status on BTEC2. We didn't have time to record for 16K for BTEC for training. So that we just need train for daily new corpus and POV corpus. So that's why, and we hope that if we have time to record and in BTEC corpus, so maybe accuracy will be better. So maybe I would have to have your advices in that. We also do experiment before that result. We also did some experiment on evaluation of recognition units, and also evaluation of different feature sets, and also the tone. So it's very primary, and that is apply only VOV corpus. So here, for example, it's a recognition unit. Here we can see that it's from initial, final part, and the ending part. So here, for example, as I said before, that we have to consider that raising tone with BTK at the end. So we have tone pitch contour raising very fast or drop very fast. So we try to make some mixture units. So actually, it's good. It's some design for performance of the mixture units here. It is the first. It's about 4 years ago, and here we also have. Sometimes that MFCC has better performance than VLSP and something. And for the feature set, we use also MFCC energy at 0 and the delta of accelerators value. So here's some previous, but we try to do, because for the F0 here, we also divide it in slices. In small windows, but the tone is continuously, so we have to find some way to describe the tone. So now we are working on acoustic model for speech recognition. As I said before, the performance depends on the number of parameters. So we are working in minimum distance learning methods in order to select the how many states for the HTML we apply for each unit here. For the tone recognition, we still didn't have stable result yet, so that's why I cannot have cannot show the table of the experiment done here. But hopefully that we will have it not in the very near future. So for the tone recognition, now we try to apply multi-space distribution proposed by Tokuda. Which modern the two probability spaces. So here we try to apply some results from Mandarin, Chinese Mandarin, to our Vietnamese tone. But for Mandarin, they have 4 tones and don't have broken and kind of drop tone. So how to modelize broken tone and drop tones? It's a problem. Even apply for MSD here. So we have to think about that. And now we have BOV and daily news corpus. We try to apply this in that. So on our student is working on this too. So it's we follow the paper from speech communications with MSD here. So it's it's a pictures from from this paper, and we try to follow this. There is like raising tone in Vietnamese, and it's also drop tone in Vietnamese. It's second and also 5th tone, 5th tone in Vietnamese. Yeah. So by speech synthesis, as I said that we also integrated in some idea interactive voice response system, and now we are trying to base HML corpus base for TTS, and here is conventional Vietnamese HML based TTS based on HTS from Japan. So there is some features for our TTS. We also use 5-state HTML. It's we use main set X-true modeled by continuous probability distribution. We use F0, but here I think a lot of work for text analysis, because mostly we use here default parameters. So here and here for context clustering, we have to do a lot of work in order to fit up the 49 parameters of in context clustering. So it's our job now here too. So it's some parameter setup. So for example, here we didn't use we still have no chance for doing experiments for what stresses and post-back I use. So here we have a lot of work, and some our students are working on improving naturalness of TTS also. And for speech corpus and speech corpus for HTS, so we use only such trend for BTEC corpus, and we have 1 male and 1 female in northern dialect. But as I said before, that we have 36 hours for southern dialect. So they use unit selection methods for that. So, but for our team, we focus to statistical methods. So, I mean, every method. For example, how to select units. So it's also based on a large corpus. But here we try to have small decoders in order to work with the limited resource environment. So that's why we try to develop HML based TTS. So here for TTS here we seen here boost speech, and but it quite smooth and good intelligible. And for the future development, we extend context factor. So as I said, that syllable, word stress, phrase, and post-tags. We try for the next. We try to use 36 hours from Southern dialect to adapt with the HTML. So hopefully that we can competitive with the unit selections. Unit selection that they develop from Ho Chi Minh City, but they also as a member of our national project in 2 years. And speaking on speech mechanism of speech translation system in the middle part is very important part for statistical, for SMT, statistical machine translation. So it's not, I personally, I do not work in SMT, but we have quite strong team in our team. It combines some people from Hanoi University of Technology, and some people from our lab, including the guy. Now he is working for a master and just finished master in Holland. So here it's our English Vietnamese speech statistical machine translation version 0.10. So it's the common scheme for the for SMT, SMT, and we tested its language corpus, like we have monolingual corpus here with some statistics here, and we have some parallel corpora in 3 categories. So economic law and ICT and news corpus, and also basic and biotech corpus. So for the first economic law, we did some. We have for daily news here from megabyte about 500 megabyte of text. We have 3 million sentences in 60K articles of each field. So it should economic, science, law, work, support, culture, computer, social. So been 5 gram language model. And here we tested some features in, and here we try to apply phrase by model on this. So here we get some factor translations model in that, and and here we get a blue score quite high, but we think that it's because of the still small corpus, and but when we combine factor translation model with that, it's improved translation quality significantly. So we did it, and but we have to deal with what's missing name entity recognition problems too. And here we have some translation trained with BTEC corpus, and we put it in our server from our lab here. So we can try. You can try it. So based on 3 domain ASR and SMT and speech synthesis. So we try to combine and rewrite the decoders in order to implement on the system. If we work in the network base, so it's no problem. But so far, we also have to think about how to implement it on the limited resources. So that's why somebody also working on optimization decoders for both for all speech recognition, speech translations, machine translation and also decoders for the HTML or based DTS. So speaking our activities with speech-to-speech community. So we from 2008, from August of 2008, we as a member we are as a member of ASR. So here it's for this Asian Speech Translation Advanced Research that's coordinated and led by NICT in Japan in cooperation with CASIA in China, F3 in Korea, BPPT in Indonesia, NextTech in Thailand, CDAC in India, I2R in Singapore, and IoT in Vietnam. So actually, from those members, we have only NextTech and F3 from Korea and Vietnam, not speaking about NICT itself. So we have so we have 3 modules, and other parts only have all ASR or machine translation or HDR or speech synthesis. So we have successful final international demo on July. Sorry, it's not July 2010, and based network based translation demo. I already have here some script, video script in YouTube, but maybe we have some problem with the connections with my computer, so I will try to do it. It's the last of my if it's work. So it's a goal of demo. It's the so at that time I also every partner stay in their in locations. So we try to talk with each other in our language. So I participate by myself in the demonstration. So here it's some detail. It's the main point, and here's the detail, so you can see it. And they provide for each partner that's biosystem in order to communicate with each other. But since this year, we Vietnam as a member of new USTAR for next 3 years.
What is that device?
It's like a bio machine. It's so like a PC, yeah. Like it's smaller, and we have special microphone in order to have better.
And it's running Windows or?
Windows, yeah. So we have the H pair of languages. So we for the demonstration we divided in some group. So for my group, we speak in Vietnamese. It's translated to English, to Japanese, and to Malay. And for Malay, it's I2R in Singapore. That's for the Malaysia language. So now from this years, we just finished some agreement between 15 members, including a star member before, and 6 members like Bangladesh, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Mongolia, etc. So from Mongolia, there are two partners from university there. So each partner describe what they have done and what technology they are working for. So the goal is demo. It's speech-to-speech translation between partner in iPhone 3G for the London Olympic game next year. So each partner have provided 20K English sentences and translated by each partner. So for IOIT, we already translated it. So for this videos, we didn't have to translate, but we try to record something, and we provided by some contract, by some agreement between with the Harbin Institute of Technology in China for testing, because he had some trilingual Chinese, English, and Japanese corpus, and there is some statistic on that corpus too, and on that corpus. So now we start our work, and we have to report each for some periods that is defined by an ICT, and for this periods, also only Japan, Korea, Thailand, and Vietnam. And China also. So we have three domains. Three domains for the other partners, or they just want to develop the corpus, or one or two technology for speech or for translation. And I will talk some other activities that we have that successful to work with partner Eurocom in France, and Research Institute of Information Technology in Tsinghua University, and IOIT, that supported by French program. We call it ICT Asia program for multilingual, multimedia, and multicultural semantic video recommendation system. So it means that we try in the proposal we divided some work that's from video we can get some term, and we focus for the nature for the foreigner who live in some other countries. For example, friends live in China, so they want to. So we tried by applying ASR in order to define some keywords. Keywords for sport, for example, and try some name entities, and by that we translate it in Chinese, and from Chinese they can search for accordingly website that's related to that for in Chinese, in order so people can understand, can search and try to have more recommendation to know about their activities. So it's the purpose of the activity. So for these projects, we have that funding for the meetings, and for share and for writing paper and go to international conferences. But each partner have to provide by themselves the technologies, and we try to combine and to get together. So almost for the last, we have some applications, and we already successful to implement voice dialing in Android and in smartphone with the OS Android and Symbian OS. Here we also have speech synthesis based on concatenations here, and in order to read to listen by voice the SMS that's arrived. And now it's and some smartphone providers also want to have have it in order to have some advertisement, something for their business. And we also, as I said before, that we also integration of TTS for screen reading in ROS. It's Microsoft Microsoft software that we can provide for blind people. So there is some no Vietnamese in that. So we already implemented TTS, and now so we think that there are many requests for TTS from Vietnam for IVR system. So, and especially reading stories in the handphone and something. So that's why for the doing some more products. So we focus on improve naturalness of Vietnamese TTS by both by own the approach for unit selections and HTML depend on what requirements. So we also have OCR already. So we also integrated TTS in OCR for blind people because they can use OCR to convert to text. So from text to listen, what they can so they can help people to read. And here we unfortunately that's we already had some collaboration with a Sunai company in Romania that they want to have several languages by using TTS and at the same time they can send many short messages to telephone and to SMS in case that they want to announce some messages to different people. So we already successfully implemented it, but now the collaboration is by some reason doesn't work. But we are because they need some more requirements on resources. So it's difficult to apply in Vietnam. So there is for last years they have Romania, English, and Vietnamese, and they try to have more languages here. So I go for my time is finished. So for conclusions, for my talk, I present activities of the VLSP project, and the main purpose is to build resources and tools for speech and NLP communities in Vietnam, and also we have to say that it's primary design on 3 domains, and our activities with speech-to-speech translation community. So we look forward for some collaboration and advices in order to improve our research, and also a lot of work to improve Vietnamese component performance for both for own speech recognition, speech translations, and synthesis. So thank you for your attention, and sorry for my English maybe not good for pronunciation. So, but hopefully by the slide you can understand the main idea of my talk. So please give us some comment or some questions. I try to answer. Thank you.
I had a question on the dialects. In the beginning, you had a very nice slide of the various dialects in Vietnam. There's 5 major ones or more?
Yeah.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major ones, right?
Yeah. So actually, it's actually in the central of Vietnam, in the north or central of even for southern, we divided. We say that main it's 3 dialects, but in each region, the dialects we have more dialect even in northern. So if we want to recognize more dialects, so I mean we have to consider more and more dialects. But now we try to have to collect more, because for example here from here we have even for Vietnamese we cannot understand all because they use different very heavy dialects. Also the words is also word using also different. So we try to have northern, it means that Hanoi dialect, and central is kind of Hue dialect, and in the south we just focus on Saigon dialect.
So I see that the Saigon is green down there, so it seems like...
Yeah, maybe, yes.
Is that because it's the same dialect as the other green area?
Yeah, actually from here and from here they have dialect, it's more or less southern dialect than the middle part of this. So here it's we consider from here to here it's central dialect, in here dialect of the north.
And are the differences large enough that it's like another language? People don't understand each other, or would it be handled with adaptation?
People understand and understand about 80–90%, but mostly we rest from the context, especially if they have very hard voice, for example. So, but usually people from Hanoi and from Ho Chi Minh, from Saigon, Ho Chi Minh cities, we understand each other better than from the middle. But surprisingly, that people from middle try to imitate the northern dialect. It's perfectly.
I see. That's because the news is in northern dialect?
Maybe because also political reason also. They try to be like the northern people. So.
And so the differences could be handled, in your opinion, by adaptation on the speech recognition?
Yes.
Or does it really require a complete retraining?
I think that for adaptation is difficult. If we have to retrain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, retrain. Yeah.
So sort of following up on that was, you mentioned that there are different dialects, they have different even word selection.
Yes.
That's in the dialects. Do you have a feeling if the phone sets are the same or they're not? Or?
No.
Okay,
I
that's
think,
cool.
yeah, no. So I think that the phone set should maybe different also. Maybe different also, because their pronunciation it's quite different. So I think that if we can consider the problem, so we should consider that problem also. So I think that for adaptation is not work. It's just, I think we didn't test it, but according to our knowledge that we know about the language, so we thought that, we think that, and try to have the corpora from different dialects.
I have one more question.
Yes.
You had an example there of a single Vietnamese sentence out of context and the different English interpretations that it could have.
Yes.
So for that example, so in the written text, that is the case. If you know the tone, does that change the interpretation directly?
Yes. If you focus, in cases I presented here, if you focus in some words, your stress of the pronunciation focus in some words, so you can recognize it. But for example, here we have three. We have three groups, and here if you focus on this one, So you may, for translation, you still have the ambiguity, so still not. But from this and from the second one, you may have, you can, from the third, yeah, this tone is the same. Tone is the same. For example, here and here. I mean, here it's one word. Yeah, so here's one word, and that's why. And if you you make the stress on that word, so you may get the different meaning. Yeah, a lot of examples like this, So, but for I mean for the officials documents, so it's may not if we focus on some domain, so it's typical examples that we have to face with problem. But if in the in news or in some domain officials information, so I think that it could be less problem for the ambiguity. Yeah, yes. Same, yeah, yes. Same tone, same words. But I think that people can. That's only people can distinguish what he want to.
Somebody, I think, somebody claimed that come to me from Vietnamese have some similarities. But really, there are 6 tones here also. I wonder whether that is true.
Yeah. So actually, our research we try to read many papers from Mandarin or Chinese in order to adapt and to try to find that it's similar with our or not. So we found that it's, but surprisingly that if we apply Fujisaki model for tone modeling, so our tone is more or less uh, have the melody like Thai, and the parameters of Fujisaki model give us some similarities with the Thai language, not with the with Mandarin. But I'm not sure that we have we did complete experiments on that. But what we had when Professor Fujisaki came to us for few times, and our TTS for concatenation, we try to we already implemented Fujisaki model for that, and but of course for broken and drop tone we have to we try to add some more, but not systematically. That's some trick on that. And but for pronunciations, I think that's because many words borrow from Chinese, so of course I think that uh, uh, the technique applied for Mandarin, and for Chinese uh, could be when adapted with Vietnamese. And for example, for foreigners who learn Chinese, and when he read in the Vietnamese and and pronunciation, he can count the meaning for like like meaning because he knows Chinese.
So, I have one more question. With the tones in Mandarin, I think by adding pitch into the system, I think we always get only a relatively small improvement. That is, I think improving about 1% or so, if I remember correctly. And so, and part of the reason presumably is that the spectral contour also absorbs some of the differences between tones that are distinguished by different tones. Now, in Vietnamese, the 6 tones, my question is, do you think that the importance of F0 higher than in Mandarin, or what kind of differences do you find? So if you recognize that don't use which, you add which, what is the difference?
Yeah. So far, so we did because we apply not very in very large corpus, and it's very primary when you use HML as baselines, and we add the tone using neural network. Because we cannot divide it in slices because its tone influence on the whole syllable, especially in final parts. So we got some slightly improvement so far. So I I already asked some colleague. He is very well in tone recognition, and it's a nuclear tone model for Mandarin. So here is because he is working in Asia for a long time. So maybe you notice Zhang something in Beijing. So he told me that it's for implementing the tone. It's that's for research in order to prove that there is some influence. But for commercial commercial products, and if you want to have to consider many factors, speed, speed, speed up of your engine. So so far they didn't use tone in the system, but for research purpose, we should do it. Yeah. So as far as I know, so yeah, yeah, it's more different. So we try now. It's a MSD, multi-space dimensions. It's the tone and combine with the how to how to how to define tone separately and combine with the baseline. So try to do it. But I am not sure that's because we still don't have very large corpus. So maybe our um, conclusions may not very mm-hmm.
What about letter to sound?
We have some tools for convert the letter to sound. So I think that's for the corpus. For 9,000 sentences, we can provide the 1,000 to sound. That it's already some.
Is Vietnamese very hard for the letter to sound?
Yes.
You cannot just read. If I try to read out of the text.
Letters. Yeah, actually you can, but if you are not native speakers, it's so always have problems.
English is probably the most diverse language.
Yes.
I think the modern Vietnamese practices use more of the mathematical processes.
Mm-hmm.
People still fill out the characters.
Yeah. Yes.
Kids or students are not educated with right use.
Yes. Yes.
Just trying to read the Chinese messages.
Yeah. So now it's just for preserving. Yeah, like a culture, and we have, of course, it's on also a depend of the government that how to preserve it, and especially we have the one institute for ancient characters, so we had a lot of papers, so they try to try some big projects in order to digitize the papers, but they want to have some OCRs also in order to translate in the text in order to preserve it. But I think some Japanese and Japanese companies are already involved in this because it's very very familiar with OCR, and but for pronunciation, I mean very familiar with Chinese. So I think that's only for writing it's difficult, but for for teaching children for speaking Chinese it's not easier, not difficult at all. And for writing maybe that's but we don't use this. We don't use this. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
More like Africa. I mean, in the US, they try to mention, for example, they're always clear because people are used to it. Even though
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a half of the French people in the 19, at the end of 18 and at the beginning of the 19th centuries. By Minnesota. Yeah, and I mean that's after 1984. So people still use both Latin characters and Tuno characters. Like it's a simplification of Chinese one. But after in no, not 84, 45, 1945, when we established the new or Socialist Republic of Vietnam. So we declare that we use Latin, Romanized characters for our like national officials language. So from that time, but before they may use
all these accents and varieties, do you think that that makes it less ambiguous?
mm-hmm. Tone marker. Mm-hmm. We still have a lot of so we try to have some collaboration with Chinese because we can share more.
Well, it'd be interesting to compare whether Vietnamese is in fact less ambiguous or what Chinese.
It's also interesting. Ambiguous. Yeah. Interesting to know the ambiguity.
We don't have word segmentation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then also you said in another slide there is no cardinal sense or no gender.
Mm-hmm. No send vendors, no.
I definitely find Chinese
Yeah, much more ambiguous.